So recently I've been getting trolled on all my pages by prejudiced Arabs from the Middle East and North Africa who feel like the Moors in America are impeding on their history. Let's get this one thing straight. Northern Africa original inhabitants were Akabulan, African, indigenous, dark-skinned looking people until the invasion of the Arabs in North Africa. The Kingdom of Morocco and West Africa that you see today did not look the same. From Egypt to Morocco, we are the original inhabitants of those lands. Not until the invasion by the Arabs and the enslavement of Africans do you see the culmination and the hybrids of Arabs and Africans there today. As I said before, I'm accepting all challenges. So if you got money, put your money up. You can troll me, you can call me nigga, you can call me Negro, you can call us whatever you want, but it still won't deny the history that the original inhabitants of Morocco were dark-skinned people. Coming on my page saying that the Moors in America aren't Moorish descendants, they are Negroes, niggas, derogatory stuff like that. But I'm not in the games and I'm not in the playing. I got receipts.
Judging by the current phenotype of the Moroccan king and the majority of the Moroccan people, one might assume that Morocco was always predominantly lighter-skinned. This assumption extends to the historical perception of Moors, leading many to believe they looked similar to the present-day Moroccans and other North Africans. However, historical evidence tells a different story. Ancient and medieval North Africa, including Morocco, was home to a significant black population. The term Moor, historically used by Europeans, referred to these black inhabitants. This population included black Berbers, who played crucial roles in the region's history, from the Almoravid and Almohad dynasties to the founding of the Alawid dynasty by Moulay al-Rashid and the significant reign of Moulay Ismail. The demographic landscape of Morocco and North Africa began to change over centuries due to various factors, including Arab invasions, European colonization, and the influx of different peoples. These influences gradually altered the phenotypic characteristics of the population, leading to the diverse appearances seen today. Until the 18th century, the kings of Morocco were black, and they led the country to its historical peak. To fully understand this history, it's helpful to learn about the early population stages of North Africa. Historically, black people have always lived in the Maghreb and were the majority during Roman and Arab rule. These black inhabitants were the original Berbers. Known also as Moors or Saracens, Europeans encountered them in Spain and Portugal. A Moorish king and his court depicted in a propaganda drawing by Christians of the time. Moorish kingdom in 1400, with the queen atop the castle and the king on the flag, facing the Christians. Moorish dignitaries playing chess. The Christian king of Spain, Peter of Aragon, receiving the decapitated heads of 4 Moorish princes of the Almoravid dynasty in the 11th century. We can see that the heads are excessively black. It is these 4 heads that still appear on the flag of Sardinia today. Abu Bakr, another Almoravid leader, built an empire through warfare, stretching from Morocco to the Senegal River. Abu Bakr, depicted in a 1413 illustration by Mechia Viladestes, appointed his cousin Yusuf ibn Tachfin as regent of the Northwest. Falsified illustration by Moulay Ismail. How can a man whose brother on his father's side and his mother were both black look like that? He was described by a French priest as a man almost black with a white spot on his face. Authentic portrait of General Bassa, who did much for the victories of Moulay Ismail. The face of the Maghreb changed significantly due to the slave trade by white Christians from Europe and the presence of Arab Muslims and Turks. The governor of the city of Tangier, in the very north of Morocco, here in procession, surrounded by his guard. Painting of 1872 by Jean-Joseph Benjamin Constant, who visited the city. At the end of the 19th century, if King Hassan I of all Morocco was indeed mixed race, there were still black leaders in the country. Black Berbers remained present in North Africa, They now make up about half of Mauritania's population and a minority in southern Morocco. Known as Black Moors or Haratines, they continue to be an integral part of the region's demographic landscape. As part of the Muslim invasion of Africa, Arabs entered the continent in 639 and soon subdued the Maghreb. An Arab named Idris founded Morocco's first dynasty, the Idrisids. After Idris died, his Berber wife gave birth to Idris II, who expanded his father's power. King Muhammad, Idris II's son, is also known to have had an African mother. The Idrisid dynasty, a blend of African and Arab heritage, left a significant architectural mark on the city of Fez and contributed to the spread of Islam. However, their power declined around the year 1000. The subsequent Almoravid dynasty truly made Morocco shine. The Black Dynasty of the Almoravids. They ruled from 1060 to 1147. The kings of Morocco during the Almoravid dynasty were Black, Moors, and Berbers. This fact is illustrated by an event involving Peter of Aragon, the Christian king of Spain, who received the decapitated heads of 4 Moorish princes of the Almoravid dynasty in the 11th century. These heads, noted for their blackness, are still depicted on the flag of Sardinia today. In the Western Sahara, King Yahya ibn Ibrahim sought to convert his subjects to Islam. He brought in a religious leader named Ibn Yassin, who initially failed in his mission and was chased away. Ibn Yassin found refuge along the Senegal River, where he successfully gathered followers. With a sufficient number of adherents, he launched a jihad in the region and named his followers the Almoravids, meaning fighters of the faith. Ibn Tachfin conquered the former capital Fez and parts of Algeria. After leading a jihad that significantly weakened the animist empire of Ghana in 1075, Abu Bakr returned to Morocco. There he acknowledged the growing power of his cousin Yusuf ibn Tachfin, who founded the city of Marrakesh. Contemporary documents describe Tachfin as having brown skin and frizzy hair. Yusuf ibn Tachfin answered the call for help from Black and Arab communities threatened by European Christians. As the regent of Northwest Africa, he conquered Spain, creating a vast empire that included Spain, Portugal, Morocco, Algeria, Western Sahara, and Mauritania, with Marrakesh as its capital. Moroccan historiography marks the Almoravid dynasty as the beginning of Morocco's imperial era, often considered the birth of Morocco itself. 2 black men, Abu Bakr and especially Yusuf ibn Tachfin, were foundational figures in establishing imperial Morocco. The Almoravid dynasty was known for its monumental architectural achievements in Morocco. However, their reign ended with the rise of the Almohad dynasty. The origins of the Almohad dynasty trace back to Ibn Tumart, a Berber from the Masmuda tribe who received his education in Spain during the period of African rule. The British historian Bernard Lewis references the Arab commentator Abu Shama, who described the Masmuda as black people. Ibn Tumart, diverging from mainstream Muslim doctrine, founded the Almohad movement, also known as the Unifiers, which rejected all figures in Islam except Allah. Descended from the Berber Zenites, the Benu Merin began as knights and camel drivers for the Almohads. Seizing the opportunity presented by the weakening of their masters, they embarked on a 25-year campaign to conquer Morocco, culminating in the capture of Marrakesh in 1269, which marked the end of the Almohad dynasty. The Marinid kings aimed to re-establish the empire of their predecessors across the Maghreb and Spain. Abu al-Hassan, considered the greatest king of the Marinid dynasty, was a significant proponent of this expansionist vision. He is often described as a black sultan, with his mother being of black descent. This dynasty rose to power during the Spanish and Portuguese occupation of Morocco. Its founder was Mohammed as Sheikh. His son, Abd al-Malik, the 4th king, was described by the Portuguese chronicler Luís de Oxeda as a man with a flat and short nose, thick lips, gray, which is in fact a variant of the dark black color. Another son of the founder was the father of King Moulay Mohammed. Portuguese observers describe Moulay Mohammed as a barbarian Moor, a cursed Moor, and an infidel Moor, noting he was black in appearance and bloodthirsty in his actions. At that time, the term Moor was commonly used to refer to black people. It is evident that black leaders played a foundational role in the Moroccan imperial era, establishing at least 4 of the 7 Moroccan royal dynasties. These dynasties brought Morocco to its political zenith through the Almoravid and Almohad periods. The renowned historian Cheikh Anta Diop identified the Sahara as a demarcation line between so-called Black Africa and the Maghreb, which became predominantly white during the imperial era. However, contemporary understanding suggests that this barrier needs to be re-examined and broken down. There was a continuity of phenotype on both sides of the Sahara, but a cultural discontinuity emerged. The people south of the Sahara largely retained their authentic African cultural identity, while the early Berbers underwent significant Arabization. The legacy of these influential men is complex. They were actively involved in the Arab-Muslim slave trade, enslaving both black and white individuals alongside Arabs and Turks to produce wealth. This involvement in slavery contrasts with the economic systems of ancient black societies, where slavery was absent. The presence of slavery in Black Morocco indicates an Arab influence on this practice. This history underscores the significant contributions of black individuals to the civilizations of North Africa. Blacks were central to the development of the vitalist, animist civilizations of ancient Egypt and Carthage, which were exclusively black. The Moorish civilization in Spain and Imperial Morocco, despite benefiting from initial Arab contributions, were fundamentally black civilizations. This historical truth highlights the predominant role of blacks in the rich history of North African civilizations. Until the lions have their own historians, the tales of the hunt will always glorify the hunter.